Um, so anybody that's watching us that's pregnant and it's near 32 weeks, girl, I hope you got your bag packed because you never know what's gonna happen. It could be 32 weeks in a day. I have some friends who had babies born at 32 weeks, or they were born at 32 weeks. Brothers and sisters born at 33 weeks. So so yeah. Anyway, hey guys, I'm back. I'm here with a video finally after I don't even know my last video. I think the last video I posted was like my gender reveal, and he is definitely. Y'all hear that? He's acting like he's starving. He is definitely here now. So Makai came a little early on us. I literally was filming my pregnancy essentials video, and he said he's coming 2 days after that. So that video never went up. I'm still debating if I even want to post it. There's so many other things I want to say besides the essentials, but maybe I should, because I'm pretty sure there's people that still want to know what I used during my pregnancy. I am still getting some of those questions from like moms to be, so maybe I will post it. But I felt like I needed to come on and say my labor and delivery story because that was really important for me to watch, just to be like ready for whatever. That even makes sense. It helped with some anxieties. Some of the videos did give me more anxiety, but the ones that were positive helped with anxiety of just like what to expect, even though in the moment it's totally different. Yeah, I wanted to share with you guys how my LND went down. Before I get into that, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to stop right now. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so that you get notified anytime I post a video, which is going to be a lot more often now. I'm getting my groove. And yeah, stick around if you want to see or hear about my labor and delivery story. And Makai. Alright guys, so my story, my labor and delivery story was a lot different than obviously I planned. I'm sure everybody has heard that 1,000 times. Like, literally everybody says that, but now being in the freaking moment, I understand. Like, anything could happen, like at the drop of a hat. So, like I said, on the 24th, I was filming a video about my pregnancy essentials. The night before, on the 23rd, I started having some pain, and I told myself, like, if that happens again, I'm gonna go to the doctor. The next day while I was recording, I started feeling a little pain, but I automatically thought that it was just the round ligament pain that I had when I was like 4 months. I had the same pain. Was it 4 months in January? 4 or 5 months. I had some pain. I went to the hospital. I thought maybe I was going into preterm labor, and they told me like everything was fine, the baby was fine, yada yada yada, send me home, right? So I thought it was the same thing. The only difference is that they told me if you have pain in the middle of your belly, that's when you need to go to the hospital. If it's on the side, like the lower regions, like lower pelvic pain, it's not so bad, but the middle of your belly is when you need to go to the hospital, and that's what I felt. So on the 25th now, 25th? Yeah, no, the 24th, okay, sorry, I think, yeah. On the 24th, that night after I did the video and all that, I told my partner, like, okay, tonight I'm just gonna go to the hospital. I just wanna make sure that everything's okay, just for my clarity. I could have just like not went and like waited for something else to happen, but for some reason in my head, I was like, no, I'm gonna go to the hospital today just to make sure everything is fine, because that scenario kept popping up in my head because the pain was in the middle. So anyway, I went to the hospital and I told them what I was feeling. A whole bunch of doctors came in. They told me, yes, it could possibly be the round ligament pain, but let's just check. And while I was there, I started having contractions. They asked me, like, do you feel the contractions? I'm like, no, I didn't feel anything. I was just like regular, but I wanted to make sure everything was okay. So after like a few hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours, I was still having them, so they wanted to keep me there. They gave me some fluid fluids. They said maybe I could be dehydrated, which also causes preterm labor. So I had fluids, and by this time it had already been maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 4 hours had passed. Mind you, I only went thinking they were gonna send me right back home, like within 2 hours. But at this point, I went at like 9. It was almost 1 in the morning. So I called my partner and told him I might be staying here longer than I expected. And he had to go to work the next morning. So it was like, I don't know, like just weren't expecting everything to happen the way it did. So I ended up having to stay now in the hospital. They wanted me to stay until like the next day until my doctor could come in, but I told them like I couldn't do that. I wasn't prepared. So long story short, for that day, I actually came home. I left the hospital, came home, just me being, I don't know, I guess wanting to be in control and like preparing myself mentally for being in the hospital and possibly giving birth at that point, because they wouldn't let me go home, freaked me out. So I came home, packed my hospital bag. I had literally just got everything in the mail from Amazon like at the beginning of that week, and this was like Thursday. Yeah, this was Thursday morning. So I was so grateful that I had everything. He's really sleeping and eating. I wish you guys could see, like literally sleeping and eating. It's too funny. So yeah, so I came home and packed my bag and got myself mentally prepared, and I brought my laptop. I'm like, oh, it'll be fine. I'm gonna edit my video that I just did, and I'm gonna post this weekend. Girl, you would have thought. Hey guys, so it is Friday, March 26th, and we have been in the hospital for 2 days now, or about 2 days. It'll be at 10 o'clock. I came in for some pain on Wednesday night, and I ended up being admitted and staying overnight just due to a couple of things that they saw with the baby. I haven't really been able to film that much. I know I probably look really crazy right now. My braids are like to the side. My hair looks crazy, but I just wanted to get something on here. It's like 3:30 in the morning. And we just had a little scare. We just had like 10 nurses running here because I guess the baby's heart rate decelerated. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen in the next couple hours. Yeah, it's just me here right now. They had to leave. He works tomorrow morning, but I didn't want him to be alarmed, so I just, I can only do so much, but I know he's gonna want to be here if they do try to deliver the baby today, the emergency C-section. So just trying my best to stay strong. I don't want to wake anybody up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but if that happens again, I'm just definitely gonna call so he knows what's happening. Oh yeah, we're here. So baby's heart right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Probably not, but yeah. We will see what happens in the next few hours. Okay. So yeah, so my boyfriend drove me back to the hospital now and stayed with me. And by this time, they're just telling me, like, you know what, overnight we watched the baby's heart rate was decelerating as we're having contractions. So that's why we wanted to keep you here. We want to just make sure everything's okay. Sometimes that happens. It comes right back up. Talking about his heart rate, like it'll go down for the contraction and then come right back up. But we want to make sure, you know what I mean? So of course I'm like, okay, I understand. Like I'm gonna stay here. So they wanted to watch me for 24 hours. Halfway through the day, it was still happening. It wasn't happening as frequent, but it was still happening. So my doctor came, and then my primary OBG came, and OB came, and my high-risk OB also came to the hospital just to do ultrasounds and make sure the baby wasn't, like, the umbilical cord wasn't around his neck or anything like that, which was causing deceleration. Still, everything looked fine, but my doctor said if it kept happening, then I could possibly have an emergency C-section. In that moment, I was just like, in my head, like, this is not what I planned. Like, no, I plan to be in my hospital room, able to talk to my family and like prepare myself mentally to, push and this, or even prepare myself mentally to go into a C-section, but not an emergency C-section. Like that, it's just, I don't know, it's overwhelming feeling to know like we're taking the baby right now. Like it was just like I didn't have a chance to even like process it. So also overnight, the baby's heart rate. Oh wait, let me back up. So anyway, they gave me that scenario. This could possibly happen. That was probably like at 5 in the afternoon. By 8 or 9, it happened another time, and it was almost like it was getting a little bit worse. When I would fall asleep, like his heart rate would drop. Because by then I had been up like all day waiting for the doctor to get there, and after the doctor left and he said everything was fine, like I went into a deep sleep. So when I went into the deep sleep, like 10 nurses ran into my room, and they're like, oh, what's happening again? I want to make sure to turn you on your side, turn you on this side. They gave me a shot of steroids. They gave me, I don't even remember the other shots. Like, I think I got like 2 or 3 injections. I know for sure one of them was steroids for the baby. But it was like supposed to be an emergency. If we had to do an emergency C-section, they wanted to give me steroids to make sure that his lungs were being developed. Whatever's in the steroid, I guess, helped with development for lungs. So that happened. So that hurt. I got one of those, and I got something else for me that I cannot remember. But I feel like I was just being pushed and pulled in so many different directions, and I was so overwhelmed. To the fact when they said emergency C-section again, I like burst out into tears. Like it was just too much. And then by this time, showing you guys the wrong monitor because I don't have my glasses on, but that is what we're watching. So yeah, that's what I meant to show you guys. So we will see what's gonna happen. Okay, y'all, I gotta hurry up before he wakes back up. And I had my AC on. I turned it off for y'all for the next 5 minutes, only because it was already cool in here. But dang, this humidifier is going crazy right now. Ooh. All right, sorry about that, y'all. Anyway, he is going back to sleep now. Kinda watching TV. So really quick, I wanted to finish up my story before he wakes up. So yeah, resulted in the big finale of the emergency C-section. So like I was saying, we all have our plans of like what we think our birth plan, or what, all that. I had a birth plan that I wrote like when I was like 3 months pregnant. This is what I want, who I want in the room, Meanwhile, it's COVID, so none of that even matters. But well, as far as like what you want, as far as when the baby comes out and all that, that still applies. But as far as who can you have in the room, it really varies. Hi, Papa. Yeah, it really varies with like who you can have in the room. So, with that being said, emergency C-section meant it was just me and my boyfriend in the room. And believe it or not, after we got past the initial epidural, I was very, very calm. I did have a moment of a panic attack when I had to lay down after like they numbed me and the numbing started to work. That feeling is crazy. Like nobody talks about that feeling. I don't know if it's the same with a vaginal birth versus a cesarean, but the feeling that I had, it caused me to have a panic attack. Like I just wanted to lift my body up and I couldn't because I was laying flat. I felt like I was gonna fall off the table. My doctor had to like come and hold me and tell me like, you can't get up, you can't get up. Girl, Why nobody tell me nothing about that? Nobody talks about that. I know the epidural, oh, you're not gonna feel anything, da da da. It was beyond me. Like, it was beyond feeling anything. It was like, I was really having a panic attack. Like, I wanted to get up off the table. I'm like, no, 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 no. But I had to calm down and just, it's the health of my baby. Baby needs to come out. How else is he gonna come out? He needs to come out right now. And this is what they need to do. So I had to really talk to myself. And I think it was more so because I was by myself in that moment. Like, my partner was like on his way back to the hospital. Mind you, he went home because they told him, everything looks okay. We're gonna watch her for a few more hours. And in that little bit of time, that happened. So, hey guys, update. A couple hours have passed since I spoke to you. So it's about, what time is it? 6 o'clock? Can't really see. Let me see. 6:45 in the afternoon, in the evening. Last time I spoke to you guys was at, I think 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning. So a lot has transpired since then. But little man is here. He is here. He is here. I'm so happy. I'm relieved. I feel like I have no pun intended, all this weight off my shoulders and just worry that I had from earlier. Don't get me wrong, I was so scared. Just because, of course, it wasn't what we anticipated, but was never in our hands to begin with. And I know that now. A couple had things that transpired before I even came to the hospital, which caused me to come to the hospital, and it's literally all God's plan. That's all I can say. So I'm really excited. I know I'm looking crazy, but it could be worse. So right now I'm just waiting for Bay to come back with his stuff so we can stay overnight. But he's been able to go up and check on him, go up and check on the baby every two hours or so. He's been up there and he's doing really well. So we're really blessed. And I tried to be as strong as I could through this process. So we did end up having an emergency C-section, which I'll do more of that conversation in my entire labor delivery story. That I just wanted to cut in with some pieces and let you guys know that we're okay. Baby's okay. I'm getting myself together now, as you can see, putting my contacts in. But yeah, we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. I wish I could have recorded more, but there was just so much going on a little bit earlier. So now that I'm feeling better and able to get up a little, I'm actually not feeling as much pain as I thought I was going to be feeling. So I'm happy about that, because 12 hours ago was a completely different story. So baby's here. Baby Makai is here, guys. Thank you, God. All right, I'll check in with you guys later. Just wanted to give you an update. And yeah. But pretty much from the time that they told me I was possibly gonna have an emergency C-section, I ended up having that about maybe 10 hours later. So yeah. As far as the process, everything happened so fast. From the moment they gave me the steroid shot, I want to say 3 or 4 hours later they gave me the other steroid shot, and then about 4 in the morning they decided I'm gonna have the C-section, and it happened 2 hours later. It was quick. They came in, they prepped me, prepped me for surgery, as far as shaving and cleaning the area, collecting all my stuff. Everything happened so freaking, really awake. everything happened so freaking fast. So, like I said, I couldn't like really digest everything that was happening. It didn't kick into me until I got on that table, got in the OR, and they were like, okay, hold on to the nurse because we're about to do your epidural. I'm like, I just started bawling. Like I couldn't. I think if my partner would have been there, I probably still would have been crying as hard. It was just like the pain level, the anxiety, everything. And you know they give you like 2 shots. But I feel like I felt everything. So for everybody that's saying like, oh, the IV hurt worse than the epidural. Yeah, the IV hurt too. I had like 3 of those, but the epidural still hurt me, or the initial shot still hurt me. I don't know if it's because I was tense, but girl, that hurt. That shit hurt. After, I didn't feel any pain for like 2 days. I felt like because it was still, in my system. And after the surgery, I want to say within a few hours, I was up. The nurses were really surprised that I was up moving around because I didn't feel any pain and I wanted to see the baby so bad. So we went up and saw him. I don't remember how many hours after, but I do have some clips that I'm going to insert of me in the hospital so you guys can just kind of see in the moment, because I was vlogging not knowing that this was going to happen, obviously after the fact too. But yeah, so emergency C-section happened for me and Makai. He ended up being born at 7 a.m. the next morning. So I have a little Aries baby. I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'll insert the clip so you guys can kind of see my process in the hospital, like how I was feeling. I ended up staying in the hospital for 5 days, right? Yeah, for 5 days after. But because he was born prematurely, 33 weeks, literally 33 weeks, somebody told me at 32 weeks, make sure I'm ready for delivery after 32, and they were not lying. Because he literally came on my 33. So anybody that's watching this that's pregnant and it's near 32 weeks, girl, I hope you got your bag packed because you never know what's gonna happen. It could be 32 weeks in a day. I have some friends who had babies born at